Hi everyone, my name is Maya. I'm 34 years old, and I need to tell you something that took me 11 years, one fake crisis, and a lot of tears to finally understand. The people who are supposed to love you unconditionally sometimes don't, and sometimes the only way to find that out is to stop being useful to them. This is my story. I grew up in a middle-class family in Ohio. 4 kids, 2 parents, one small house that always felt a little too full and a little too loud. I was the oldest, and from a very young age I understood, without anyone having to say it, that being the oldest meant being responsible. I was the one who helped with homework, the one who babysat, the one who got a part-time job at 16 and handed half my paycheck to my mom without being asked. It felt normal. It felt like love. When I got a scholarship and moved to Atlanta for college, I worked 2 jobs alongside my studies. I graduated debt-free, landed a corporate job in logistics management, and by 23, I was making more money than both my parents combined. And I was proud of that. I wanted to help. So I started sending money home. At first it was small, a few $100s here and there, gas bills, a car repair for my dad, school supplies for my younger sister Bree. It felt good. It felt like I was finally giving back. But slowly, gradually, without me ever agreeing to it officially, it became expected. By the time I was 26, I was sending home $2,800 every single month. That's $33,600 a year for 11 years. Do the math. That's over $369,000. And I want to be honest with you. I never once complained about it out loud, because every time I thought about stopping, I remembered being that little girl in that small house, and I told myself, this is what family does. But here's what I didn't want to see for the longest time. My parents stopped working. My dad took early retirement at 58 because, as he put it, things were stable now. My mom quit her part-time receptionist job the same year. My brother Devon, who was 29, had never held a job longer than 4 months. My sister Bree, 24, was on her 3rd gap year. And every month when that transfer hit, there was no thank you. There was a text, usually something like, "Hey, can you add an extra $300 this month? Insurance is due." Or, "The AC broke again." Or, my personal favorite from Devon, "I need new rims for the car. The ones you got me are scratched." The car I bought him with the money I earned working 60-hour weeks, but I kept sending it, because stopping felt like abandoning them, and they knew that. They knew exactly how to make me feel guilty enough to keep going. If you've ever been the family ATM, you already know where this is going, and if you haven't, consider yourself lucky. My husband Marcus had watched all of this for years with quiet concern. He never told me to stop. He respected that it was my family, my money, my choice. But one evening in February, after I'd just wired an extra $500 because my mom said she needed dental work, he sat down next to me and said something that changed everything. "Maya, what do you think would happen if they thought you lost your job?" I stared at him. "What do you mean?" "I mean, what do you think they'd say? How do you think they'd react? Would they ask if you were okay? Would they offer to help you? Or would they—" He didn't finish the sentence. He didn't have to. Something cold moved through me, because I already knew the answer. I just hadn't let myself say it yet. We talked for 3 hours that night, and by the end of it, we had a plan. I called my mom on a Tuesday morning. I made my voice shake just a little, not dramatically, just enough to sound scared. "Mom, I need to tell you something. I got laid off last week. The whole department. It was sudden, I'm still processing it." There was a pause. "Laid off? What does that mean for— are you going to be okay?" Notice what she didn't ask. She didn't ask how I was feeling. She didn't ask if I needed anything. Her first sentence, her very first instinct, was an unfinished question about what it meant for her. I kept going. "It means I have to cut back on everything for a while. I'm so sorry, Mom. I won't be able to send money this month." The silence that followed was different. It had a texture to it, heavy, cold. Maya, we have bills. I know, Mom, I'm sorry. I'm dealing with this too. Your father and I have planned our whole month around that transfer. Not, we'll figure it out. Not, don't worry, we'll manage. Not even, are you scared? Just, we planned around that transfer. What happened over the next 3 weeks broke something in me and rebuilt something stronger. Devin texted me 6 times in 4 days, not once to check on me. Every single message was a variation of the same demand. So when's the money coming? And, this is messing up my situation. His situation, his scratched rims situation. Bree, sweet Bree, who I had tutored, whose prom dress I'd paid for, whose college application fees I'd covered, called me once. And when I said I was struggling, she said, well, hopefully you figure it out soon because Mom is really stressed. Mom is stressed. And my dad? My dad, who had retired early on the stability I provided, called Marcus, not me, Marcus, and said, and I'm quoting directly here, I hope Maya knows that real families don't abandon each other. I sat with that sentence for a long time. Real families don't abandon each other, as if I had been the one abandoning anyone. After 3 weeks, Marcus and I sat down together and I called my mom on speaker. I told her the truth. I wasn't laid off. I had actually just accepted a promotion. I was making more money than ever. And effective immediately, the monthly transfers were stopping permanently. The reaction was exactly what you'd expect. There was yelling. There were accusations. My mom said I had betrayed the family. Devin called me a selfish traitor. My dad went quiet in a way that somehow hurt most. But here's what I noticed. Not one of them, not a single person, said, I'm glad you're okay. Not one. And that told me everything I needed to know about what those 11 years had actually been. Marcus and I used that $2,800 a month to max out our retirement accounts, start a home renovation fund, and book the trip to Portugal we'd been postponing for 4 years. I also started therapy. Turns out there's a lot to unpack when you've spent a decade being a human debit card for people who were supposed to be your safe place. My family went quiet for a while. Then the holiday text started, performative, stiff, nothing like real connection. I respond when I feel like it. Sometimes I don't. I don't feel guilty anymore, or at least not the way I used to. Because here's what I know now, after all of it. Love that evaporates the moment you stop being financially useful was never love. It was a transaction, and I'm done paying. If this story hit close to home for you, if you've ever been the one who gives and gives while slowly disappearing, I want you to know, you are not obligated to fund people who wouldn't notice your tears if there was no money attached to them. You deserve people who would ask if you're okay first. I'm Maya, and I'm finally okay.